badass.
Coming to you from the arena on beautiful Vespara and only on ORSN.
I'm LX1.
And I'm Paz Vega. What a show we've got for you tonight.
We've talked before about how much of a cultural phenomenon Star Wars is in the video games the colossal franchise has spawned recently in our best Star Wars games on Switch. And now, there's a new Padawan hoping to vie for your precious attention. Entering the free-to-play arena shooter space is Star Wars Hunters, a 4v4 squad shooter in a similar vein to Overwatch, The Finals, and even Rainbow Six Siege. With these comparisons, can it do enough to escape being in the Clone Wars? What's it like? Squad up, equip your blaster, and let's do it all for the Wookiee as we review Star Wars Hunters on Nintendo Switch. Before we jump into some rounds, would you mind liking and subscribing? It's the best way that outlets like What's It Like can get discovered. And if you want to do something extra, you can also buy me a coffee before I bullseye Womp Rats in my T16. Whichever way you go, I can't thank you enough for doing so. Star Wars Hunters is an arena shooter that lets you compile a team of assorted characters and classes to duke it out in a range of arena gameplay styles. These include traditional modes like TDM and Capture the Zone, but they also include character mix-up mashups, allowing you to be randomly assigned heroes even if you haven't unlocked them. Win or lose, you'll earn both Hero XP, which unlocks upgrades and cosmetics for that particular hero, and overall XP, which unlocks new modes, social options, and heroes. Initially, the game does throw a lot of things at you in the menu. There's hero passes, there's quests, there's daily challenges, and it gives the players plenty to do when beginning this journey. As a matter of fact, navigating the menus and quests is more complex than actually playing the game. Thankfully, the actual gameplay is fast, fluid, and fairly balanced, meaning it's a rare occasion where one side absolutely dominates, and as we know, only a Sith deals in absolutes. I did find this refreshing, and as a long-time Overwatch player, I'm used to either decimating the opposition or being completely steamrolled due to skill ceilings. And perhaps it's because the game has only been publicly available today, but I'm hoping it continues to keep this balance. Heroes have certain traits like tank, DPS, and support, and playing each one feels intuitive, thanks to the skills being kept to simple L, R, and ultimates. For example, one of my favourite characters, Sentinel, is a chain laser wielding stormtrooper, and he has a shield that can be deployed, a melee sweep that knocks characters over, and an ultimate that calls in additional stormtroopers to fight by your side. Another tank, Groz, a Wookiee, can heal himself instead of having a shield, uses melee attacks only, and has a really cool charge attack. This variation makes unlocking new hunters exciting, and while learning new characters can sometimes feel a bit daunting in other games, Hunters manages to strike the easy to play, difficult to master balance fairly well. The art style is another standout for Star Wars Hunters, and it offers up a diverse cast of characters in a similar style to Overwatch, somewhat reminiscent of sitting on the fence of realism and cartoons, and Hunters just works really well with what it was aiming for. Characters have flair and they ooze charm and they're over the top, and despite some hectic action on the battlefield, you can easily recognize who's playing who to help you plan out your attack during battle. The rounds are fairly fast moving, another trait from its mobile-based lineage, and I really enjoyed being able to queue, play, and re-queue within a 5-minute window. This rapid-fire method of gameplay means that you're never sitting idle for too long. And the map design is also balanced, offering some new yet familiar Star Wars locales. And they even have things like pod races that crash through them, giving players other environmental hazards to avoid. Performance is solid in handheld and docked mode, and there were some minor frame rate dips when the action got a little bit over the top. While all of this sounds good so far, there are some minor issues present in the early release. Mainly some heroes, specifically those who use a single shot attack like a DL blaster or a sniper rifle, rely heavily on a decent internet connection. Zaina, a rebel hero who used the DL-44 blaster that Han Solo made famous, and also shot first with, was almost unplayable when my connection hit peak hour. Some characters like Sentinel seem like they may be a little bit too overpowered, especially when facing DPS and support characters. I also had a bug pop up twice where my controller just didn't register, and only responded after my character was defeated. Despite unlocking it, ranked mode is also currently unavailable to play, and it looks like it'll have its own battle pass attached to it. And speaking of battle passes, as always, the lingering question is, just how free to play is Star Wars Hunters? As it's based on a more mobile game format, it is littered with cosmetic microtransactions, with battle passes to come. But the game is still 100% playable without spending a cent, and due to its addictive nature of the gameplay, unlocking heroes, which may be a little bit of a grind, gives you a good selection to start out with. I was interrupted with some particularly discounted deals like a cosmetic skin pack for the hero I was using, and that cost about $3 Australian, which I did purchase for the purpose of this review. I did feel like the other cosmetic packs on offer were really expensive, and to draw comparisons to the Fortnite marketplace where $30 can get you 1 to 3 different skins, most of Hunters were sitting at the $25 mark, making it a not very appealing purchase. Personally, I have a rule where if I enjoy a free-to-play game, I usually just purchase the starter pack to give the developer a little bit of support, and most of them sit around the $15 mark. But in Hunter's case, it was also $25. For my vision-impaired scoundrels, Wookiees and Jedis, there are no accessibility options, so further research may be required to find out if Star Wars Hunters is for you. The game does feature gyro aiming, which is off by default, and it did seem to work well when I tested it, although I'm traditionally not a fan of gyro controls. I wasn't expecting to enjoy Star Wars Hunters as much as I did. To be honest, I'm not really sure what I was expecting from the game, but it was such a pleasant surprise. It's really hard not to draw comparisons to Overwatch because, to be fair, it's heavily influenced by that style of play and genre. But it also makes it a much faster pace, a bit more accessible and user-friendly, and it really takes care with the Star Wars license. I think I was expecting a microtransaction-laden hive of scum and villainy, and instead I got vibrant and unique characters, stylish and fast-paced action, and an addictive gameplay loop that allows you to get a whole lot of gameplay in a short amount of time. It is early days, that's for sure, but there's a very solid foundation here for a great arena shooter that will hopefully be further developed to stand tall beside those who came before it. As it's free, it's really a no-brainer that any Star Wars fan should give it a go. And if I may disagree with Master Yoda on one thing, there's no need to do or do not. Give it a try. So, what's it like? Star Wars Hunters is like Overwatch with blasters and lightsabers added into the mix. I award it an 84 out of 100.
I can't wait to see what comes next. Stay tuned for all the action.
Thanks so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. The best way you can support me is to like and subscribe and continue watching my content if you enjoy it. But if you do want to go that bit extra, you can buy me a coffee or join our Patreon, which shows you behind the scenes of this channel. Thanks again.